Hello viewers, I am delighted to welcome you to this week's edition of Crossfire, reaching you from the Advent Cable Network Nigeria Television, ACNNTV. I am Olusegun Emmanuel Akinola. Remember, Crossfire is a program that treats controversial topics on diverse issues surrounding the family, the church, and the society. It's more like a friendly match where we just warm up by raising issues. The ball is eventually left in your court to decide. In our society today, it is not strange to hear that a woman is a housewife. In other words, she's a stay-at-home mother or wife, taking care of the home and the children, and maybe has a little business by the side. But we're gradually beginning to hear about house husbands, men who allow their career-driven wives to be the breadwinners in the home. More women, especially in this generation, where you hear of feminism, would say the responsibility of caring for the home is for both husband and wife. After all, it is his home too. To discuss this very interesting topic, we have with us two young persons, our dear brother, Mr. Raphael Ojaokomo, who will be speaking for the men, while our dear sister, Chikamara Stephen, will be speaking for the women. You're both welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, I think we can get right into the discussion. Let me start with you, my dear brother Raphael. You know, in these modern times, you hear that some men will say, well, I'm a man, I should not be helping out with domestic things and all of that. Now, do you think it's so wrong for a man to actually help out with home chores and some domestic issues, taking care of the children, and so on and so forth?
In these modern days, like you said, I do not think it is totally wrong, but it should not be a case of compulsion where you have to make the person do it by all means. Because
like every day, eh?
Like every day.
Have like a timetable to say, you're cleaning today, the wife cleaning tomorrow.
Timetable. I don't think timetable can even work, so because first and foremost, it's not something that is seen as a man's work to do. Yes. So I think it should come when I want to do it, not you telling me what you want me to do and how you want me to do it, because I believe that everybody have their places in the house. So if me coming to do it for you at one point or the other, it should be from the inside, maybe out of love or something like that. But when you begin to demand for it, that's where it becomes a problem.
Okay. I don't know how my sister wants to respond to that.
I don't think it's mostly something willful. What happens when circumstance puts you in that situation?
Okay.
So what happens? Do you...
I think everybody already have their places. Circumstances or not, no circumstances. Everybody already...
So it is clear that it's the women that should be doing that.
The circumstance of probably the man has... they are both career people.
Yes.
And then the woman is still in job, and probably the man has lost his job. Or something like that.
Yeah.
You don't so what happens? Is he... Will you totally abandon the responsibility for the woman, even though at that particular point you don't have much doing, and that's the only contribution you have to the family?
I don't think I want to be a house husband in the first place. So even if I don't have anything at that point in time, me sitting back is a way of telling. I know the Bible, at one of the passages says, a little sleep, a little slumber, and poverty sets in. And I have that in my head. Even if I've lost my job, doesn't mean the whole world has come to an end. I still need to do something to keep the family going. So staying put in one place means I've resigned to the situation at that point in time. So I don't think that should define if I want to stay at home and take... Everybody have their place.
Okay, my dear sister, I'm sure later this will still come up again. Now, there's a popular saying that, you know, what a man can do, you know, a woman can do better. And so in this generation, you see lots of women going out there. They are doctors, they're engineers, they're practically doing everything. Even politicians, you see them everywhere. So don't you think the priority of a woman, no matter how high class she is in society, shouldn't her place, her priority still be the home and the children?
Yes, of course. The priority of a woman should be her home, as well as the man.
Okay, as well as the man.
It's not a one-sided thing, actually.
Okay.
As much as the man feels going out to provide for the family is an ultimate responsibility for him, the woman on the other hand, as much as she goes out to do all that, she shouldn't forget her home.
Okay. So
there is no wrong in trying to combine both, as long as you know where to strike the balance.
Okay. So, in other words, I don't know, Mr. Raphael.
I would want to also agree with her that no matter what the woman does in the society, because something was coming to my head. Imagine a woman running for the post of the president.
Yes.
What happens to what do they call? You know, the wife is called the first lady.
The first lady.
So the man is now called the first man. And what does the man do in the house or do at that point in time?
Exactly.
I know we are in we're in Africa, where when the woman is seen as being on top, the man is weak.
Of course.
Irrespective of whatever it is that is happening inside the home. So I believe no matter what she does, I think one example is past primates. That's Tadioko, when Primate was talking to us, that no matter where she is, whatever she's doing, when it's time, she moves to tend to her husband.
To the house. Okay. In fact, my mind just really flashed back to the Queen of England. You know, seeing that kind of situation, she's the queen. Where does the husband stay? What does he do? And from history, it tells us that the man actually had to quit his own dreams and his own ambitions in order to be with her, you know, and rule England.
I feel for the man strongly. I feel for him strongly. I just see him follow the woman up and down, follow the woman up and down. He does basically nothing. Yeah. It does basically nothing.
That one is the monarchy, but you know, looking at our society.
So it strongly depends. If you actually want the society to run your home, I think it's something that the couple should have a basic agreement on.
Okay.
If there are some people that are okay with it, as long as everything is moving normal, as long as the respect is there, as long as the children are not neglected, you don't have a problem with it. Okay. But most times when you want to start looking back at the society, that's where the problem sets in. Yeah. So if you decide to let the society run your home, you begin to have issues. But if you sit and have a basic agreement as a family, whatever happens, whatever anybody says, as long as things are still in place
in the home,
there will be little or no trouble.
Okay. Okay. Now, I have a tough question for my dear brother now. Now, imagine, we're talking about women who are career-driven. Imagine someone who's a politician who is very busy. Now, imagine if a woman actually has a higher-paying job, you know, 6 figures or maybe even more, you know, than the man. You know, talking about breadwinners. You know. So what should a man do in that kind of situation? Should he now be the one to make the sacrifice that, well, let my wife advance, let me just sit down and take care of the house, take care of the children?
I wish I could shout that never, like very loud. You know, there is this saying that you hear, let's say she's my wife, for example, and then he says, my money is my money, your money is our money. Our money, yes. So irrespective of how much she makes, I don't think I want to sit in the house. And because
someone has to take care of the children.
Yeah, so that person is not me. That person is not me. Even if I'm earning ₦1, because see, either I like it or not. Even if she's earning 6 figures, there is this joy. I hope I don't get into trouble saying this. There is this joy that women derive in collecting for men.
Okay, yes, definitely.
No matter what, I want to go. She's earning 6 figures. Maybe I'm earning as small as maybe 50,000 naira. Honey, I want to go and make my hair.
Yes, yes.
I want to go and do this. I want to go and do that. And I cannot see myself. The percentage of those that would understand the fact that, okay, because she's making a higher pay, I have to sit back and make other things work. The percentage of those women who understand that are very, very little. And then, you know, as a man, ego comes to play again. Definitely. She might just walk past me. Just by walking past me, I feel, is it because she's earning more than me? That's why she's walking like that.
Exactly.
Or she, instead of putting 2 meats in my place, she's putting 1 because I'm not contributing to the whole.
This one is a typical African man. Looking for 2 meats.
So I don't think I want to sit down and
okay, my sister, I'm sure you want to respond to that. I mean, if the children are lacking behind, of course, the woman maybe of earning 6 figures, she has to travel, she has to do this, do that. And the children are there lacking behind in education and some other things. What will you do in that kind of situation? What will you tell the man?
I don't think any 6 figures is enough excuse to neglect your home, actually. If you're doing something, no matter what the pay is, if you notice that there's a that you have a backlog, like you're missing out something. You're not taking care of your home, you're not tending to your husband's needs and every other thing. I think you should rethink. There are many other options. If you had gotten there in the first place, that means you have enough connections and contact to actually switch
Okay.
You may not drop down completely. Though you may have to experience a drop, but not completely. And then look for how to strike the balance.
So you won't actually go back home to attack the man to say he should actually take up this responsibility and find a way to make it work?
No, there's no need to take up the responsibility. He can do what he can do what he can do.
Okay.
If he chooses to do that, fine. But
if he doesn't?
If he doesn't choose to do it, if he chooses to go out and work, still okay. Okay. But the most important thing is that the woman should not have any single reason to neglect her home, no matter the money. Okay. Money is not the ultimate. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a little bit of a balance there to say, well, the woman should still take her priority in the home.
Yes.
That percentage is still very small. Very small. I said. It's very small, like I said. You know, we're in the era where everybody is shouting, not everybody. The feminists in quotes are shouting equality. Of course. Equality. In fact, I read something somewhere, you know how you're wooing a lady and say, I want the lady to come to your house and stay with your parents and cook with them and be with them. In this case, they say, I want the man to come and stay with the family so that he will get used to the family. And so, the farm and do as I was reading it, it felt very awkward in a way. And I said, see, God is not out of confusion. He has placed everybody in their different phases, and then when you're trying to shift it towards, that's when problem sets in. I don't have any problem if my wife is making 6 figures, praise God. But I will not sit down and let the thing follow me. I need to also, because I think men are created for basic, like stand to be corrected, 3 purposes: to protect, to procreate, and to provide. And of course, we know what the Bible says about a man that cannot provide for the family is worse than an infidel. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that.
Now, my dear sister, now, even though, we know you have been trying to strike a balance, now, shouldn't a woman in our own society, in an African or even Nigerian society, who sees her husband, being in the home, cooking and cleaning, shouldn't such a woman be ashamed? Should she be proud that the man is actually making sure things are going well, or the other way around? Would she be ashamed, or should she be proud in that kind of situation?
Ashamed, no.
Okay.
In fact, any woman that sees her husband trying to help out in church should be really grateful, because those kind of men are very rare. Okay, so now this is the opposite. Now the men that are like that they are really rare.
Yes.
So any woman that sees a man in that position should be really grateful for having such a person. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Though in the African culture, they always want to maintain the fact that the woman's place is in the kitchen and not a man. Like they look at it like a taboo, if I may say.
I think there was a certain pastor who said something like that, saying something like, a woman should know how to cook and all that.
If she doesn't know how to cook, don't marry her.
Don't marry her. So what that kind of situation, if the man is actually good in cooking, will it actually be a problem?
There's tendency to have problem, except the woman. I hope I don't get shot for this. Is a lazy person and laid back person. We have men that are chefs.
Of course.
Who cook well.
All over the world.
Just they cook well. I've been with someone who drives, and anytime she wants to carry me when I'm driving, she'll tell me, or rather I was driving, she'll tell me I can't drive somebody who knows how to drive, especially when the person is a man. Yes, if the person is a man. So when the man can cook, there's that threat. That's
she has taken over.
Except like I said, she's a laid back person. Well, my dear, cook for us, I beg. We'll just chop, I beg. Nobody die. Do you understand? And then when she was saying something about don't let the society decide for you and so on and so forth. It is easier said than done, because either you like it or not, they have a big part. If you see the person who is fighting against the society, he's doing it with everything that he has. Do you understand? So when a woman finds a man, my uncle, in the family, his own day is Sunday.
For cooking?
For cooking. Nobody goes to the kitchen. He will prepare breakfast, lunch, and this one.
I'm sure men are listening right now.
He doesn't. This one is not like go to the market for me and I'll do the cooking. He will go
to the market.
And as you're eating breakfast, he's telling you, don't worry, lunch will soon be ready. Sometimes when I go there, I'm like, I beg, no, this food kill me. Do you understand? So any woman who is feeling maybe ashamed that the man is doing something, then she'll step up. She'll step up. Don't relax because the man is the chef and is cooking. And then
That's very true. Yeah, I think I understand this. This modern days, it's every couple for themselves. Everyone should know what works for them, and not allow society to define what they want to be doing out there. Because third party can easily come in and say, ah, your man is wearing the wrapper in the house, or the woman is the one wearing the trouser in the house, and that will cause more trouble.
The annoying part is that this same person who is telling you that thing is doing the same thing back home. But because you don't have an idea what is going on in the house, he or she comes in and tells you, blah, and then you begin to use it, and it causes problems.
Okay. Now, let me come back to you, my dear sister. For the sake of peace and fulfillment in the home, you know, what should a woman choose first? Should it be a career, a business, you know, or should it be her family? I want to think about that very seriously. Which one should she choose first? Is it the career, that's the business she's doing, or should it be the family?
You mentioned three things. You said
well, if she's in a career already, or if she's having her own business, you know, some people have their own personal business, you know. So that is one, and then or family.
Naturally, it should be the family.
Okay.
That a woman should choose first.
Yeah.
But these days, there are some homes where the husband tries to run a family business, and then he goes out doing his own things, and then leaves the family business for the wife to run. Sometimes, when you see such scenarios, it's very difficult for the woman to strike that balance. But naturally, it should be her family that comes first. But in this kind of scenario, you discover that the woman does not have much say.
Okay. That's if it's a family business.
Yes, when it's a family business, and the husband have said, okay, focus on this. I'm going to get a house help. Forget about the children and all that. We'll get help to take care of that. So what happens? If you want peace to reign, definitely you have to go with what your husband has to see. But naturally, I think it should be the family first.
Family first. Okay. I'm sure you want to respond to that. For the man now, you know, what should be the first? Is it the family, or should it be his own career and his own business?
You know, after creation, the first thing God gave man to do was work. I know if you do not work, you can't put food on the table for the same family that you're coming to. See, I will say it again. Everybody needs to know their place. A man needs to go and toil, then come back. Because if you don't come back with anything, the same woman would hit you from all corners. You know, they say when you have money, that's when you are the sweetheart. They will call you all the names, but when there's no money, you will hear your real name. Elongated self, they will call it for you. So for the man, I believe he should sit out there, do this work. It's like my people from the eastern part of Nigeria, basically, many of them believe that before they even get married, they really need to work and have these resources before they put a wife in there. Because they believe without all these things, it's trouble. Because the time will come where you will need to settle this, and settle that. And when you can't do any of those things, it becomes a problem in the house, I think. But I would want to try a little bit to see if we can strike a balance there. Yes, focus outside, on the job rather, and see how you can help the family grow and become better. But at the same time again, you get to fall back to the same family. And no matter what you do out there, you're coming back home. Last, it's like a story of a man that was said to have gone to his house, knocked on the door, and then the child opened the door and said, I'm coming, let me go and call my mom. Went to the kitchen and said, Mommy, there's somebody at the door looking for you. And then the wife went there, and lo and behold, it was the husband. And tears, because he lives in the life where he wakes up by 5 he's out of the house. Before he comes back, the child is asleep, so the child does not know the father. So, but irrespective of that, work so that I can fend for the family.
Okay. Well, with that, we'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Marriage is the institution which God established. It is such an important institution that nobody should enter carelessly or unadvisedly.
Love is actually an act of our will, and so you must decide to love.
Fruit of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience. When we exhibit that in our marital relationship, then we see that couples or husbands and wives enjoy the marriage that God gave to them.
The importance of marriage counseling is that it teaches the intending couples, or even the couples already, those who are already married, the principles, the biblical principles of marriage.
Welcome back, viewers. This has been Crossfire, and we have been discussing who is responsible in the home. Is it the husband or the wife? And their guests who have been with us is Mr. Raphael Ojakomo and dear sister Chikamara Stephen. Just before we went on the break, my dear brother talking about, you know, a man who seems to be a workaholic. He's going out there day and night, let's say hustling and bustling every single day to make sure he provides for the family. Now, let me come to you, my dear sister. If you now find a situation where a man is such a workaholic, he doesn't have a part in the home, you as a wife also you hardly see him, what would you advise such a man, or what would you advise such a woman? How will she how will she help the husband place a balance, you know, in the home?
To answer that question, I may have to deviate a little.
Okay.
Because when such things happen, when a man is always absent in the home, a lot of things go wrong.
Yes.
You begin to see cases of children outside the home.
Yeah.
A lot of relationships, ungodly relationships outside the home, which are going to be very difficult to control. Because at a point where a man and a woman are already married, there's something already activated. You always look forward to seeing that person.
Yeah, definitely.
The moment you stop looking forward to seeing your partner, something is wrong somewhere. It means you're getting what you're expecting to get from your partner elsewhere, and that's why you're always looking out for that. So to advise the man in this situation, I don't think it's healthy for any marriage at all.
For the man to just be
for a man to, no matter how much you are looking for, no matter how much you're earning, I always maintain striking a balance. You should know, sometimes maybe the job can warrant such, maybe the kind of job you do, it might not be a personal business and all that, but you should still have like a day or 2 days off, weekend off with your family, things like that. Just try
I wonder how bankers will be able
cover
to feel about something like this. Yes.
The part where I would not agree with is when she said when they go out, because when they go out more often like that, is because they're getting something outside, so they are more relaxed outside. You know, and you mentioned bankers. Those people are they hardly have.
You didn't get the point.
Okay.
I didn't mean the man is going. I said when the woman at home stops looking forward to seeing her husband, it means she always that means there's already a distraction somewhere. It could be from the man, it could be from the woman. It's not necessarily the man.
Okay, so
it happens on both ends.
Okay.
I thought you meant maybe as they're going out. No. And then you also, like we said, find bankers who work. I know people who have done jobs, and then even on Sundays you're expected, like those who have to go and maybe work in the ATM section, they go there to fix this thing. People have different kind of jobs and the time that it takes from them. So I think striking a balance for some people might not work. Best still, maybe you find a way to get into a personal business where you can have all the time to yourself. But if you still want to remain in that job and make all the money, because at the end of the day, you hear all I do is for my family. And that's why most times it hurts when the men are not celebrated that much You hear Women's Day, Ordinary Sunday, Ladies' Day, this day, and they'll just somehow just squeeze Father's Day inside the calendar. Sometimes we're not even sure of the date. It keeps fluctuating. We'll be asking ourselves which day. So where shall I be today and come to church? Only for the priest to tell them it's not today. So I think men should be celebrated more because of the sacrifices that we made. Because either you like it or not, these things they do is so that the people at home rather, have better lives in the future. Because at the end of the day, when you don't get anything done and the home is just anyhow, everybody still comes back to you, to the man.
Of course. You know,
but when you say all you do is for your family, you say you're doing all that for your family. And then with all the work and all the money, you still lose the family. What do you gain?
The woman has failed now.
Oh, is it the woman that's failed?
She has failed though, because the woman has failed. Because when I went,
it can't be the way.
I go out to toil.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody is at home and is fixing, like I said from the beginning, I don't go out. I've gone to do these things. I expect that, okay, you are the home front, you're making things work. You're my what I call it sidekick.
There's a reason you were joined together in the first place.
Yes.
That's not to work separately. And you fail to realize that when you go out, you work with people. And those people, you start becoming one with them. And you neglect the family that you should be one with in the first place.
And if I do not work and bring back money to the same family, I will still get
but you
in
need
trouble.
to look for a way to strike the balance, not to neglect your family completely.
No, I'm not saying neglecting. I'm not saying I'm going to neglect, or I'm planning to neglect, or I want to neglect.
Circumstances just leaves it like
so that you will not come. See, I want my wife to call me honey, sweetheart. Not come and call me. They should even leave the first name and call me the middle name. The moment they get to the middle name, forget it. You are the wife of that house. There is nothing you want to tell me. You are the wife of that house. But then, striking a balance, we can get to that point. But if it's a job that really, really needs your time and everything, find a way to try and reach out. Maybe once in a while, talk to them while you're away at work. You call them, how are you doing, this and that. So I think I can go with that.
Go with that kind of situation, because it can be a very tough situation if a man finds himself in that kind of loophole, trying to fix the balance. And it's also the same for the woman. If she's also a high-class person, also trying to go out there, both parties are struggling, are hustling. You now wonder, how do you now take care of the children?
Calling is not enough.
Which one?
Calling
is not enough.
Which one would you prefer? Would you prefer me to call or to come back home and not go out and toil?
No, to come back home and still go out.
What if my work doesn't allow me do that?
Then that work is not for you.
Maybe the distance.
Then that work is not for you.
So I think that's another way of actually finding a balance. You might change the career or something you're doing.
What if it's something, you know, we don't have jobs lying everywhere.
Of course.
We don't have jobs lying everywhere. It's what you see at that point in time. You grab and you keep pushing. That's why you find that sometimes some men, they get to a point and they come back. There's this, yes, I agree. There's this distance in communication with them and the children. And that's why when they ask children every now and then, who is your hero? They mention the mother.
The mother, of course.
I also think the mother too should also find a way to find a way to let them know that, okay, even you're not seeing him here, this is what he's doing to make us have this and that. Do you understand?
Okay. Let me ask you now, still based on this this line of question. If the man notices that maybe the children are defaulting, maybe they are escaping from school, or just having so many issues, both of you as husband and wife, you're both career driven, you're both busy. What kind of sacrifice would a man make in that kind of situation? Will he be willing, or will I even say, will you be willing to say, okay, let my wife keep advancing and I will make the sacrifices to make sure that they do not lose her? Or will you tell the woman to be the one to step
that
back?
That advancement is not good. Anyways, I know a few men who has said to their wife, why not stay back? And they go to the extent of paying the woman every month.
Okay.
Like,
that means he has a good job.
But even if he doesn't have a good job, at least make something that she doesn't get to feel. But you know, like we started in the program by saying, you know, everybody's clamoring for equality these days. If the man is going out, why shouldn't I go out? Then I don't think you're meant to be in that place in the first place, because if you, even what's it called, partnering or partnership rather, it's not even 50-50.
Okay.
In most cases. What you have is 90-10, 80-20, 70-30.
And who is the 90 and who is the 80?
The husband now.
Okay.
You even tend to forget that there are a lot of men that ask their wives to sit at home. And when she decides to sit at home, the next thing they say she's a liability to the family. So how do you handle that?
And when the man asks, like I said, when the man asks you to sit at home, first and foremost, the ones who provide for you, who maybe pay you stipends for staying at home, they are the ones who set up businesses for you to continue. There are still some women rather you set up businesses for, and then there's no headway. You as the man, sometimes you feel bad because it's like fetching water out of baskets.
No, you're not answering my question. What happens when he asks her to sit at home and she leaves everything she's doing to sit at home, and then he still doesn't contribute anything to her and just looks at her like a liability? Then you forget that sacrifice of her sitting at home was done because of you.
If I'm asking her to sit at home, it means I'm putting something in place. It means I'm putting something.
That is what should happen.
Yes,
of course. But you hear that some people they don't take that responsibility. You know. Now, let me come to you now, my dear sister. Let's say you being a career person, and you notice the man, maybe he's still hustling, he's trying to start up his business, he's still struggling. Would you step in to pay the children's school fees? Would you also help the man in his business? Okay, since this is what you're struggling with, I have something better. Let me give you this one to start up your business. As a woman, would you recommend that?
That's very deep.
Okay.
But first of all, they are my children, so
yes.
Why wouldn't I support their school fees?
Okay.
I have to.
Okay.
At least from what we've heard generally, most women, they go through the sacrifices of training their children, even to the extent of selling their jewelries, wrappers, and all that. Even when the men must have given up.
Yeah.
So then when it comes to the man himself, you have to, that question is very deep actually. You have to look at his management skills. There are some men that are just after what they can collect and then they squander
the whole thing, is it?
So you need to look deep. If it's someone that you feel deserves your support and you know that whatever you give to him, he's going to double it and cover up.
Well, he's already your husband and he already deserves it now.
No, there are some kind of husbands that you have to just... there are some kind of husbands that you endure.
Okay.
You endure. So when you notice this kind of things, it's better you even run your own business yourself. Whatever you have to give to him, you give. But by the time you put the whole family's destiny in his hands, and then he brings all of you down to the mud. No, that's going to be really sad.
That's why I said the percentage of women that would readily do that is very low. You know, it's like a case of a woman who owns a house, and then they are paying rent for the house. The husband does not know that she's owner of the house, but the man pays rent. And the man has to struggle to pay rent. Anytime he pays rent, the thing still comes back to the woman's purse.
Interesting.
If I find out,
that's very
if I find out,
the one collecting the money,
because they pay through the caretaker. He doesn't know that she owns this house, so the money goes like this and comes back like this, and she sees that this man has to really struggle to make this thing work. So that's why I said that percentage is
very low.
There's that strong belief of your money is our money. My money is my money. You know, a colleague of mine in school then said, even if she's earning like 2 million and I'm the husband, I'm earning 100,000. Oga, that 100,000 is our own.
Of course.
My 2 million is my own because I need to look good. I need to look this and that.
It must be a very good Christian woman to do something like that. But you see, this is very, very low, very low. Now, still on that same question I asked, that if we now look at it from the man's perspective, he is struggling, he's trying to make things work. Would you as a man tell the wife that, I want to start this business, I want to do this thing, you know, would you as a man, you know, will I say humble yourself in that kind of situation, say, help me out with this business?
You can't shame the shameless. Because first and foremost, it is not your money, it is her money. And then you've seen something that you can do. It's not try and error, because the money is not something that she's going there to go and pick. It's something that she's toiling. So whatever you're collecting, like she said, is something that you'll be able to maybe double or make efforts to make it better than what she has given you. Don't just, of course, I won't come and speak like all men are saints and so on and so on. We have some that
of course,
they are tax collectors. They just collect and collect.
collect.
Do you get? If you find something that you can do and do very well, all you need is capital to start it up, and then she can help you. She's also helping herself, because by the time she gets you that capital and you can start that business, you're no longer a liability to her, because before then you're already a liability to her as a person. She's doing she's paying all the bills and also paying school fees. But now, by the time you set up that business and you can stand on your own feet, you take away that burden from her.
So I think in this day and age, maybe couples don't tend to talk about these things often. The gap will only increase when someone feels the other one is cheating the other one. They say, I'm working, this one is not doing anything, or he's not doing as much. So that tension will always be there.
The problem is that these days, we live off social media. We live off social media, so we just go and pick and pick.
This is what is happening.
Like I think there was an image I saw that the lady was drowning and the guy was trying to help, and then for her to come and start saying he touched my body in a way he's not supposed to touch my body, and then so many people have picked those narratives from there. Everybody goes to social media, especially Twitter or maybe Facebook and Instagram, sees how one person is treating the husband or treating the wife.
A long epistle is my husband can just write this one for me.
It now becomes a problem. So I think we live off social media too much. That our parents, you see our parents celebrate 30 years together, 40 years, 50 years. And then you find out that in this generation, somebody gets married. In 1 week, they are throwing shoes at each other. Or 1 month. If you go to court these days now, so many cases, newly wedded. Who wants to separate? So what happened? It means nobody was talking. Nobody was talking. They were just looking at themselves.
It's true. Okay, just as a final note, what would be your advice to men who maybe, will I say, struggling or actually maybe trying to help out in their home and other things like that?
You know, I must have sounded very African and non-shifting rock and so on and so forth. But I would want to say that we should find time to help our wives, because they, like us, grew up having dreams.
Yes, definitely.
So it just should not end when they meet us. Of course. Because we're supposed to, they say 2 heads are better than 1 now. Meet and make ourselves better. So any way that we can do to make the wife better, the family better, find a way to come around it. And then where we are having problems, we should try to balance it. Because at the end of the day, they say, how did they even put itself? When the child is good, it's the father's own. But when it's bad, it's the mother's own. Let's not live that kind of life. Let's try to help ourselves so that our children will be good.
Okay, and your final word for the women?
I think my final word for the women is like, the women should be more supportive in the home. And they shouldn't take their earnings or their lifestyle as a means to make their husbands feel emasculated in any type of way. So there should be always support, and they should not forget the family, no matter what they are doing. They should always come back home, take care of the children, and make their family grow, because the woman is always the rock of the home.
The rock. Okay, that's a wonderful one. Thank you so much for being with us in our studio this morning and for your wonderful comments. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Who is responsible for caring for the home and for the children? Is it the husbands or the wives? You know, every home is unique, and what works for Peter may not necessarily work for Paul. The point is, every couple should of necessity have this discussion with mutual respect and understanding. Staying at home is sometimes just as tedious as going out to work. Let's remember never to look down on the spouse that has decided to be a homemaker. Instead, appreciate them for their daily sacrifices. In marriage, couples always think of what is good and beneficial for the other. That is the only way they can grow and experience lasting love. We thank you for joining us. Till next time, stay safe and stay blessed.